What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and today we have my final team update. Hopefully it's the final team. I'm pretty confident it will be, but you never know. Obviously with rookies getting named and whatnot, teams still not announced, so we don't know for sure, but this is what looks like it will be my final team. So basically I've gone with the more expensive rookie approach. It is risky because like if they do get dropped, it is a lot of cash being wasted, but at this point I just think I want all the cash gen I can possibly get. Um, and it seems like it's almost like we have to pick these expensive rookies, as rough as that is. But yeah, so just talking about the team, so we got Jaden Short at D1. I'm confident he can actually be D1 on the season, honestly. I've got him at D2 behind Lloyd, but I think there's definitely upside with Short. Obviously, no Hooley really looked good in the practice match. They look for him quite a bit, and obviously just kicks the ball, never handballs. So yeah, Short, I think he's a safe 105 average at least. Possibly 110, we'll see. But yeah, I'm really happy with Short. Whitfield's another one. I think he's a top three defender. I think it'll be Short, Lloyd, and Whitfield as the number 1, 2, and 3. I don't know what order it will be in, but I'm pretty confident they'll be the top three. Stewart might float around, and then maybe Crisp or Zeeble might be up there until Hall comes back. But yeah, but now Whitfield's a very safe pick, very underpriced, and yeah, happy with him. George Hewlett's an interesting one. I don't think he's quite top 6. If he is, he probably is number 6. Probably needs to average 100 odd for him to be worth it. But look, I think at this point, with all the defender shortage and also the rookie shortage, I think it's not a bad pick, and there's a lot of upside to it. We see a lot of taggers like Guthrie, Miller, and Steele. They all, once they stop tagging, they're so good on ball because they've already got that two-way part of their game where they tackle. So now that he's actually left the leash as a tagger, I think there's a lot of upside to it. I'm not going to say he's going to average what Miller and Steele average. That would be insane. But that being said, I think he can crack the ton. Possibly push a 105. We'll have to see. He's a lot older than them, I believe. So, yeah. Probably a bit of wishful thinking there. But, yeah, a lot of upside to it, I think. Chapman, I don't know too much about. He's sort of just in my team because the price and hopefully makes us a bit of money. I think he scored quite well in the JLT and Amy, sorry. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Paddy McCartan, he has been confirmed to play. Should average around, I don't know what he's going to average. Maybe like 70 to 85, somewhere around that mark, which is serviceable for our teams, I think. Just, he sort of plays that intercepting role. The only problem with him is he might play lockdown, and that will lead to some poor scores. But hopefully he just intercepts. He's a great mark. I don't know if he'll get kick-ins. That's probably pushing it a bit. But yeah, Paddy McCartan, I think we have to pick. We've got DeConing. Scored 90 in the Amy series game, which is really promising. He looked very bad in the first game. I think he had like 3 kicks and all turnovers or something. But yeah, DeConing's another one we have to pick because there's not many defender options. And then I've got Hinge and Gibcus on the bench. Hinge has been Gibcus has been confirmed to debut round 1, and Hinge, I think. I'm not sure if he's still injured or not. He's just a placeholder for now. I might drop him. I don't know. Because I kind of do want to get Dylan Stevens in. So that might be one of my only changes. Is dropping Hinge and then getting Dylan Stevens in the midfield for McDonald. This Brady Hogo in the midfield is apparently going to play. So, yeah. So midfield, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So we've gone with the 3 big dogs, McRae, Steele, and Miller. And I just think it's very hard to get anyone in. Like, any one of those 3 in throughout the season. I mean, Steele dropped to 550 last year. I honestly think that was a bit lucky. I got away with not starting Steele last year. I didn't start McRae either, but I switched Dunkley when he got injured for McRae, and that was like an easy straight swap. But yeah, Steele, I mean, I just don't see him going under, especially with the new tackle rules. I think he only gets better with just the natural progression in his career. And yeah, I can't go without McRae because McRae is always going to be M1, 2, or 3, I believe. Just so consistent and so good. And then Miller as well. I think you just can't go without Miller. I have Miller for M1 this year. So yeah, I think it's just way too risky to not start all 3. If you're not going to start one, it's very hard. I honestly think it's McRae that you don't start out of all of them. That's how much I value Miller and Steele. Anyway, moving on, we've got Lockie Neal at M4, and I think it's almost like he's one of the top 4. Like, he's another one that you just have to start. I think almost every team will have these 4. And I think Raul is a lock as well, but not everyone views him as a lock. I think the thing with Raul is he's just got so much upside as well as the price is just too good to resist. He could average 120, and I know it sounds crazy, but he's that good, he could. I don't think he will, but he definitely could. And just having that upside, that sort of upside at that price is just, it's ridiculous. You pretty much have to pick him, I believe. Um, just so good. A lot of contested possessions, good user of the ball, and can kick goals as well. Jared Berry should make plenty of money. I'm not super sold on his role just because we've got a few players come back. I know Zorko is going to. Wait, let me see what they say. So Berry was solid without telling us that it needs to be picked in this game against Dogs. His role in the side when Zorko returns is the key to scoring this season. And his price is well worth the risk. Yeah, so with it's not really a risk, let's be honest. So many people have Berry. But yeah, Zorko coming back. They say he's going to play half forward, but I still feel like he probably plays a bit of mid. He's just so good in the midfield. So does Berry get pushed to a wing? Possibly, but I think he can score well on a wing. And at 260k, the price is just too good to pass up. And that's what I mean about keeping all these cash, gen, just because we're so short on rookies. We need to actually get as many of these mid prices that are going to make us a bit of coin in our team, I believe. And 35 trades, we've got an extra 5 trades this year. It is the year, if there's ever going to be one, to take more risks with your starting team. A little bit more mid prices. Historically, mid prices in the midfield don't really work. But I think these, Neil, we're not going to really say is a mid pricer. But Raul and Berry, there's just so much upside to them. And I think they're both very safe picks. Definitely going to make 150k. I think both of them. So, yeah. Horn, Francis, and Dacos, nothing needs to be said about them. They're locked. And then Ward, McDonald, and Ho. So, Ward, apparently he's going to play halfback if he doesn't make the midfield. And Mitchell and O'Meara come back. I think he should be a midfield, honestly. I think he's their solid number 3. I think he's better than Warple already. Sounds crazy to say that, but I think he is, honestly. He looks so good in the Amy series. Maybe he's not. Maybe I'm wrong. It was just one game, and it's such a small sample size to go off. But at this point, I just think Ward, get him in the midfield. They're rebuilding anyway, so why not play him there? McDonald, don't know too much about him. Hopefully he plays. So the ruck's another interesting point. So Darcy and Grundy. I flirted with Gawn. I really like the Gawn pick, but I just think, look, there might be games where Gawn doesn't get to take all those intercept marks. There just might be. Who knows? He might have a game where he just drops them all. And he doesn't have those points in the ruck to just save him like he has in the past. And that's what I think will stop him from going like a 130 average. I think he'll probably average 115 or 120. But I don't think he'll go quite 130 just because he doesn't have as much ruck time as he did in the past. And that's why I prefer Darcy. I mean, if you look at Darcy's, he had a 3-run average of like 180. That's ridiculous. I just think the upside's too good with Darcy. Scored 95 in a game where he played terrible. I mean, if that's his floor this season, I'm very, very happy with that. And to see what he would score if he did play decent, let alone good, I mean, yeah. Darcy's got so high of a ceiling as well. Pretty much all his hit outs to advantage. Just love the pick. And then Grundy picks himself, I think. One thing I'm a little bit concerned about is the hit outs to advantage with Grundy. Just because he's got no midfielders. Like, I'm sorry, but Collins' midfield's terrible. Like Crisp, and they're like a bunch of misfits, like all out of position players just moving to the midfield. I just think it's going to take some time to gel, and Grundy might not get as many hit outs to advantage. That being said, he does do a lot around the ground. I think he's very safe for a 115 at least average. Dunkley, we have to lock in now. We've seen he's got the midfield role. I have said in the past he's not a lock, but he is a lock with that mid role. They dropped Lockie Hunter on form, so it should be even more mid for Dunkley. Butters as well. It's tempting to go without him just based on his price. I think there's more value potentially in going like having O'Shelley on the field and going like a rookie, but Butters I think could be an uber primo, like 600k player. So too much potential there, and he's an absolute gun, honestly. Cogs is a lock for top 6, I believe, as well as making 150k. I mean, that's not much doubt about that. Mitchy McGovern, the GOAT. Yeah, so it's interesting with McGovern because he's like, who would have thought we'd ever be considering him Supercoach relevant, but he is. And he's got that Ridley role where he does play intercept. I know we've only seen him play one game, but it just looks too good. He's a great mark. I think he could average 90. It's probably ceiling. But who knows? If he does get the kick-ins as well, it could be 100. And that would be insane as a 250k player. That's literally top 6. So a lot of upside there as well. Brody's got a lot of upside. I know his job security is pretty iffy based on Fife and Mundy coming back. But I think he's just so good. I mean, so many tackles, contested possessions. I think they really value him at Freo. So Hopefully Brody keeps his spot in the mid. At 220k, it's a risk I'm willing to take. And Cherry hopefully playing Ruck 1 at North. I think he scores 80 to 90. If he plays all Ruck, he could go 100. So a lot of upside to all these players. And I know it's a bit wishful thinking because a lot would have to go right. But yeah, I'm happy with all the risks in this team. And I feel like we have trades to do it, to recover it if stuff goes wrong. The odds of everything going wrong is pretty slim. And Michelle and Dixon on the bench. So if I'm looking at my team, I feel like the main risk, honestly, is Chapman. I don't know much about him. It's more just like a pick based on other people, what they've said, and I don't really know what his job security is like either. So Chapman's one I'm a little bit worried about, but everyone else I'm pretty confident with. Not having to worry about the headache of trading McRae, Steele, and Miller in throughout the season is huge. I think it's so valuable to have that luxury of just keeping them all throughout the season. They're all the 120 big boys. We think Oliver will come down in price. We know he's subject to a low score every now and then. Obviously got a bit of a higher ceiling than the other three, but he is subject to a low, like a 70 or something, which would really drop him. And hopefully he's an early upgrade target. But yeah, so structure-wise, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, it's a headache, this team. I've spent thousands of hours, I reckon, on this year on Supercoach. It's ridiculous how many hours I've spent on this crap, but I love it. I really do love it, and I'm sure a lot of other people love it too. In terms of vice captain, I'll be going Steele into Miller. I like McRae on the Wednesday, but I think Steele against Collingwood is just too juicy, and Miller against a depleted West Coast is even more juicy. So, yeah, I think McRae's got a harder midfield to play against. That being said, he can score against anyone. But yeah, that is my team. I'm pretty sure that's my final team. I'm not going to guarantee it, but I'm 99% sure that will be my final team. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.